All right, so back up. I guess you went this morning to the police station and handled some business. I saw that you were asking for Quad's last name, but I don't know Quad's last name. So
Yeah,
just
well,
make
I
sure.
got it. Trust me. That was easy peasy.
Yeah.
As much as everybody hates me around here, turns out it's something they hate a lot more. People who try to swat people. I just, it's kind of amazing to me though that Chad, who is arguably the biggest piece of shit in the Dallas. I mean, he really is just a horrible person through and through. And the fact that Chad was like universally hated and just was everyone was disgusted with him for Quadfather to show up and be like, hold my beer. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Chad, who literally everyone agrees, wow, what a despicable piece of shit. And Quad's like, hang on, I can do better.
It's insane. I heard
Mhm.
it last night and was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
And like he's had this unhinged thing against me for months now, and it started when he very politely asked me, like, hey, you want to come on our show one night? And you know how I am. If you ask me, you give me notice. I'm like, yeah, sure. Let me know what day. I'd love to come on. And I went on, and he had Pot Awful waiting, and it was like some weird gay ambush shit. And I'd never heard of him before that. And I was like, okay, well, this is lame. So I just left,
Yeah.
and ever since then, he's had this weird bent against me. So even like, I never talked to Quadfather. And then I go on Tuki's thing last night, and Quadfather's again the same guy that's like, I'm just concerned, and I don't want to see anything bad happen. As soon as I'm on the screen, he starts screaming at me, like unhinged. And I'm like, you don't seem like I can't remember. I think it was Tuki that was like, I'm starting to think you might not be so concerned about your well-being. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you ended up doing was potentially committing a felony. So, again, it's really going to come down to like, and I'm not a legal expert. I'd have to talk to my good friend, famed homosexual lawyer Nick Ricada. But there are a couple of there's a couple things he did very wrong. Like for one, being like, oh, they both have weapons. They're both saying they're going to kill each other. Like
Yeah.
these are things that, first of all, nobody said.
Right.
And it's very clear that you are trying to create you wanted the cops to show up tense, like guns drawn,
Right.
kind of shit. Yep. And that's not this whole like, oh, I'm just concerned citizen in Oregon. No, you're not, dude. Nobody's buying that act.
So I'm assuming it's falsifying a police report and or inciting police, response.
Yeah, I mean, none of that's up to me. I mean, I think with Chad, it's a clear cut case of just, I don't even think Chad necessarily up to the point where, like, when he came to my house, I even said this. I wouldn't have bothered going to the police, right?
Yeah.
When he said he was coming to my house the second time, I told him, I will call the police. I will have you trespass. This time, we're not getting a third strike. I was still willing to let it go. I'm sure you saw the clip where I said, look, all you got to do is walk it back, say you're sorry, and say, hey, I shouldn't have said that shit about people showing up to your house. And then he triples down, sober as a judge the next day in the daytime going, I want lines of cars around the block at Mersh's house. And I'm like, you've now committed it. It's now, you don't have this like, oh, we were saying shit in the heat of passion. We were getting a little, because on MLC, I think everyone was a little drunk. Like, I would have even let that slide the first time that he was like, I want everyone to go to Mersh's, because he was hammered and everybody was trying to be funny. But, when I go, hey, the next day, like, you're sober, you need to walk that back. And he's like, no, I absolutely stand by that. It's like, that's incitement. So now that's literally criminal harassment. As far as Quad goes, it's a stretch that he would even necessarily get, like, because that's a tough thing to prove.
Yeah.
But I think, again, with all the stuff I gave them, I mean, we'll see, because, and again, it ties into Jesse. Jesse gave Chad my address. Jesse gave Quadfather my address. Jesse was very much wanting all this stuff to happen as well. And, he's already been documented, like, as openly harassing me for so many years. And everything he's always done has kind of bordered on that line of, like, trying to be cute, not quite breaking the law, whatever. And, like, just, the whole, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Yeah. But it's now reached a point where I'm like, oh, well, you just sent this madman Chad to my house. He doxed me. He's inciting people to come to my house. and you got Quad involved, who then tried to have my house swatted. And it's all done across state lines. You're talking about two guys in 3 different states coordinating this.
That's true.
It's not a good look. And am I confident they're going to go to prison? No, but I can tell you this. The last sheriff's department I would want doing this is the Polk County Sheriff's Department. They're bored. So we're running out of crime. So, like, I'm just saying.
And
it would be really great if we could get a Grady Judd press conference. Like, I could die happy if I'm part of a Grady Judd press conference.
I know you love him. He is fun to watch. Mr. Panhandler says when it first came out that Quad made the call, he joked that he was hoping the cops would pew Chad. Did you see that?
And there's some tweets too, and the cops have them.
Okay.
I'd like to reiterate that the entire time all of this happened, I was asleep. We were dead asleep. And all the shit I've done to these people, that, like, whether it's Chad, Matt Mead, Ralph, all these people whose brains I broke, the difference between me and them is they have to come to my house, they have to make a scene, they have to break the law. I've done everything in the past 2 months to the Dabbleverse from this stupid chair. Yeah. I just did it from this chair with a stupid paper crown.
That's what I mean about crossing over their line. Like, meet people where they are, try to beat them at their game, or you're in the wrong spot. It should never have to go to the point of doing anything in real life, in my opinion, at all. Mm-hmm. Same way, like I was saying before you came on with the boxing thing with Coach Scott, people were going and leaving bad reviews and stuff. I was like, don't do that. Like, leave him alone.
Did you ever see the show I did where I was making everybody go leave good reviews for Coach Scott?
No, but that's good.
I was like, everybody, let's counterbalance them.
XMMM says, after Quad attempted that ambush on BYB show, Jesse PS told Quad how pathetic he is. He wanted so badly to please Jesse and failed. Never forget.
And now he's like following in his footsteps with this, like, swatting, doing shit in real life, like life ruination shit. Because this is the stuff Jesse dabbles in. Because again, he can't just do his show and be happy and make fun of me or whatever. It has to be like, let's escalate it. How do we escalate it? And it's just, bro, some of these guys now, like, I'm 42. I know Jesse's pushing 40 if he's not 40 already. Chad's 51. Quad don't look like a spring chicken. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, I agree. It's time to grow up. The Pink Panther says, when I first heard Quadfather, I assumed it was a guy who did a lot of squats. Turns out he's the guy who can't do any squats.
I just found out the story like yesterday, and I was howling laughing on about. Like, it was, I mean, I'll even laugh, but it is a very funny story. I'm sorry.
It's sad.
When you jump off a tree like it's a diving board because you're sad because your wife's getting blacked, that's not exactly like that's a funny story. And I want to reiterate, all these guys too, they get themselves so hyped up. They've got themselves all convinced that I'm the bad guy, which is the funniest thing. Which, by the way, I'm not the good guy. I'm not a good guy, but I'm not the bad guy. But yeah, it's pretty fun. It's wild.
They're challenged. It's like you're challenging them with a mirror, though. You're saying, like, this is you, and they can't stand it. They lose their shit. Every single one of them. It's been something where you're like, hey, this is what you do right here, and then they just lose it and they don't know what to do and break computers and drive to your house, and it's insane.
Well, I think the other component is that they try to hold the mirror up to me. And like, I don't necessarily hate what I see, but I don't love what I see. Like, I'm very content. Like, I am what I am. You know what I mean? So I'm very comfortable in who I am, what I am, the good and the bad. So when you start calling me fat and slamming me for this, calling me like, yes, a lot of that shit's valid, but I've come to terms with it. So it's like, it's not gonna bother me the way it bothers you. The reason it bothers these people is because they can call me fat and call me a loser. They go after my girlfriend now is like the new one that they love to do, which, by the way, she's as broken as I am. It's not going to work. That does not bother her. So, I mean, she with Ralph, for Christ's sakes. Like, she's been through it. So, like, I'm just saying, like, when they do this, they just end up coming off way more like the bad guy. And I'm like, can't we just make fun of each other? And, like, you know, they call me all these things, but the one thing they can't call me is fraud. They can't say I'm full of shit. They'll try, but at the end of the day, it's like, who's been more terrifyingly accurate than me lately?
I think that's what makes them spurg out, though. They don't know how to fight that.
Haley, I went on Stutter and John's show the other day, and I said, happy holidays. And then I proceeded to get ambushed
The subject was gone upon arrival and was not seen near the area. So Chad is also a liar.
Yeah.
So
Didn't Chad say that he talked to the cops?
Yes. No, he said I left because the cops came and talked to me and told me I
That's
had
what
to
I
leave.
thought. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
this is
And
the
that's
worst,
literally
worst.
why everybody pulled this, because I can't remember if it was I think it was Cardiff, and I think one or two other people had reached out to me in private and said, "Are you going to FOIA request the body cam?" Which I didn't even. I learned from all this. I guess we all learned something new. I didn't realize Polk County sheriffs still don't use body cams, which is wild. Like, we're one of the last counties where they don't even have body cams. But like, people are like, "Are you going to FOIA request the 911 call or any of this?" And I was like, not really, because I didn't really care. Like, I didn't really, and I knew one of these vultures was gonna do it. So I'm like, why am I gonna spend the time and possibly the money? I'm like, I guarantee you, when Cardiff was asking me, I guarantee it was because he was already like, oh, I just don't want to waste my time if you're gonna do it. And so I knew somebody would grab it. So I don't know why Quadfather, this idiot, didn't think that these idiots were gonna. I mean, have you seen the mundane, stupid shit that these vultures will try to find? Like, they're just literally trying to find Nick Ricada's body cam footage so they could see dirty clothes on the floor. Like, you know what I mean? And like, they pulled Stuttering John's stop sign getting pulled over thing. You know what I mean? They're insane. So,
yep. I'm surprised how quickly it came about, though. That was fast. That turnaround was fast.
It was very fast.
And I
Welcome to
was
the
saying-
Sunshine State. I don't know if there'll be charges or whatever. I'm not saying any. I'm not the expert. I can tell you this. The police will definitely be at least talking to Chad now, so he has that to look forward to.
Yeah. He said, I don't think so, but he also was, talking about some other times that he had seen people shoot each other on live streams. Like, that's exactly what he was
doing. He knows what he was doing. We all heard it. And again, plenty of people who hate my guts today that are going like, I don't know, man, that is way out of line. Like, we know what you were doing. And honestly, man, it may come down to one of these things where it's the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. And they may not do anything to Quad, but I guarantee you they're going to investigate it because they don't fuck around with that shit in my county. Like the swatting thing and the fact that it involves these live streams and shit. It's going to be very odd, especially since all three of these guys have like openly worked together to me. It really looks bad. So, and again, if it's all three of them, it could be a conspiracy type thing. They may all be getting charged with shit like across the board because we've seen this stuff. We've seen the gay ops. We've seen them. Really, the dumbest thing Pod Awful did was working with Chad because Chad's such a blithering idiot that first thing he blurted out was like, "Oh, shout out to Pod Awful. Thanks for giving me his address. By the way, here's the cross street. There's his house." That's the part. That was the only part I showed the cops because, like, you got to get in there. You got to wait. You kind of explain it to like the secretary cop, and then they make you wait, and then a real deputy comes out. Yeah. And even then, they're like, all right, we don't care about the whole, like, whatever. Just give us some. So I gave them the quick rundown, and they're like, okay. And they're like, do you have some? I'm like, I have loads of videos and shit to send you. I don't have them all on me. But I pulled up just him at my house, and I played the first 3 minutes. Thank Pod Awful for giving the address, showing my cross street, showing where I live, and then explaining to them. He goes on for several days to, I'm going to come back. And then when I told them I'll call the cops, then it was, I'm telling other people to come to your house. And that's when they were like, all right, I'm going to go grab my notepad. I'll be right back. Like, you know what I mean? Because they kind of screen you. So, I mean, they definitely like seemed like, okay, they were interested in this. And then they were like, well, you should go to the courthouse and file an injunction. I was like, well, I'll see what you guys can get done first. But, if it comes to that, it might be one of those things too. But again, man, I'm getting to a certain age where I don't need this shit, man. I got, my life's very simple, Haley. I got my girlfriend nobody likes. I got my tats. I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like, my bills are paid. I got food in the fridge. Leave me alone, man. I just won't be funny.
I get it. No, I get it. That was $1.99 from BYB saying send the link. So.
Well, if he wants to come on, he can. But now, given the circumstances, I'm
not. I was going to say I don't think that's probably wise to have both of you on the same.
No more MLCs with Chad. No more. Nope. Now it's.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Maybe in a little bit.
You want to let him on? I mean, I'll hop off. It's fine.
Look, afraid of what? No, apparently there's charges and stuff going, or at least an investigation going on. So I just don't think it's smart for either one of you guys to be,
The one thing that was proven is that Chad is a liar.
Oh yeah, that's what we'll take away from all this. You're right.
And you know what? I wish that's what I was taking from this. I wish I had this to dunk on Chad with.
Right. That's
but
the
I can't
problem
now because you've.
Yeah, that's a problem, Quad. Like,
I ruined everything.
You did.
No,
Well,
you guys have been,
because
no, hold on. You guys made content out of him showing up to Mersh's house for a week. Now you have something new to make content out of. You're welcome. You're welcome.
This is
it's just crazy.
That was one of the highlighted portions that I gave that was very much highlighted when I sent it into the com. I'm like, oh yeah, you might say welcome for the content. This was all a joke.
Yeah, right.